Sir, good afternoon. Sir, good afternoon. Good afternoon, all of you. Venkat Reddy, sir. Venkat Reddy, sir. Are you there? Yeah, thank you. Sir, namaste. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Namaste, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No. Yeah, thank you. Cannot hear you. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Can you hear me right now?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir. You can start now.
We have to expect Professor Reddy to respond. I'm just asking.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I can hear you right now. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaste, sir. Thank you very much for accepting us.
Namaste.
Annie, madam, please.
There is a huge issue here. There are quite a few. No internet, no electricity. It's been raining. It's very erratic things are here. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I understand. Thank you so much. I know that. Please go ahead.
And 1 second, share what?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Please hold on for a while. I'll tell you.
Welcome
Please
to
hold
the
on, ma'am.
afternoon session
Please
of
hold on,
day
ma'am.
5 of the FP. Yes, sir. Sure.
There is a huge problem. No internet. From your side, there is no internet, I guess. Gone. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
There is an internet problem here. It's fluctuating. I don't know we can succeed in doing this work today. Let's try, okay?
Okay, sir.
Even my document is also not shown properly. Let
You can
me
share
check.
it with me, sir. You can share it with me, sir. I can.
I'll
schedule it.
share that with you. That's better, no? I'll share it with you. Again,
Okay.
gone. Okay. Just hold on. Where am I? Why am I not being seen? 1 second. Either, yeah. Yeah.
చూసి మాట్లాడిద్దామని ఇట్లా పోతుంటే ఆమె చూడన చేసింది మీదకి లేచింది అమ్మో ఎందుకులే మనకు వచ్చిన అని ఒక తర్వాత ఒక 1 వీక్ తర్వాత ఏమైందంటే ఇక తప్పలేదు ఇలా ఎదురుగా నచ్చినాం అనమాట అంటే నేను
Share. Have a look at it. Nilambar?
Yes, sir. I got it. I received
Can
it,
you
sir.
please?
Okay, shall we start, sir?
Second. What? Am I there?
Yes, sir. I
Please
received
share
it. I
that.
received it.
All right, share it now, right now. Or you want me to start? Here it's not possible. It's situating the city. I'm on the hills, far to the world.
Hopefully, yes. Yes, sir. Shall we start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the afternoon session of day 5 of the FDP. So with us, we have Dr. K. Venkat Reddy. He is a professor in the Department of Training and Development, IFLU, Hyderabad, presently in IFLU, Shillong, and has 30 plus years of experience in teaching, training, and research. He holds a PhD in English and has taught various English courses. He has conducted workshops globally, published research papers, books, and textbooks, and has been invited speaker at several conferences. He has also worked with government organizations and headed national level committees. His expertise includes English language teaching, communication skills, and proficiency testing. Without any further delay, I invite Dr. K. Venkat Reddy, sir, to begin the session.
Okay, thank you, ma'am,
Sir, please.
for introducing me.
Thank
Thank you so much, JB and management, Nilambat, Dr. Nilambat. I'm here to make a presentation on so that presentation is not available, right? Nilambat.
Yes, sir.
Please share. I'm out again.
So we are also facing internet issues in the college. So that
We
is the
have the
delay.
same issues here too.
Yes.
So I'm not even being able to see myself.
Yes. Right now, Panda sir is trying to share his screen. So let's hope he succeeds in doing that.
Hello, everyone. Before we could get to see the presentation, it's as you all aware of it, it's a faculty development program and it's not a lecture session, nor is it a conference or a seminar. Therefore, it has to be an interactive one. In a workshop mode, we wanted to do it. Could you please, there is some, elicitation as well. You're all teachers of English, teaching at several levels. Perhaps all of you must be teaching in engineering colleges at an undergraduate level. What are the problems that you face on daily basis when you try to teach English? Let's first collect those, and in the background of your issues, your challenges that you as an English teacher face on daily basis, we would like to, try to find some plausible solutions. May I now ask Mr. Rambabu, are you comfortable in your classes when you teach it? Rambabu? Anybody? Anyone? Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, can you please
Yeah,
show-
we're sharing it, sir. We are downloading, we're sharing it, sir. Just a second.
Okay. Unfortunately, there are too many
please,
issues.
Yeah.
There are too many issues, yeah. Yeah, I can see that now. So, where is it? It's gone. Yeah, that's right. So that's the topic for today's presentation, Innovation in ELT for a pluralistic classroom. The classroom today is not a homogeneous one. The classroom today is heterogeneous. You must be every day facing the same kind of class. Would you like to please come out with your problems, the challenges that you face, so that in the background of those challenges, we would like to provide some adjustments as to how we can adjust our presentations on daily basis, thereby trying to meet up the objectives of teaching English in our schools. Anybody? Let's start with Nilambat. Nilambat, what are the challenges that you have on daily basis? Can you hear me, Nilambat?
Yes,
All of
sir.
you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, why? I think nobody is responding.
Yeah, I request all of them to respond on the chat box. Otherwise, they
This
can
is-
respond directly.
Chat box, let them speak up. This is, please speak up the challenges that you have. This is not a lecture that I'm giving, nor is it a seminar where I'm presenting a research paper, nor is it a conference. This is a faculty development program on a topic that concerns all of us. So therefore, you and I tread the same path on daily basis. I intend to know what your challenges, personal problem, issues that you, not personal means not domestic life, but professional problems. When you go to your college, take your textbook, walk into the class, you try your level best to be able to communicate with your students, but you may have some issues. What are those? Could you please share with me? Because I assumed that all of us have the same pluralistic class, same heterogeneous class, heterogeneity from various angles that we will discuss in course of time. Could you please come up and enrich this discussion? It's a workshop, an interactive session, ladies and gentlemen. Annie, sister. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Could you please tell us what challenges you have based on which you would have attended this faculty development program, trying to fix some of them, or share your own experience, ma'am?
Yes. So somebody in the chat has responded. That students with varied proficiency level is a challenge.
Okay, okay. The lack of proficiency in English communication is the challenge, right?
Yes, sir. With different proficiency
Okay.
levels.
Okay, lack of proficiency levels is the biggest challenge. Ma'am, where do you work? Do you work in an engineering college?
Yes.
All right. So you teach English, but you don't find, do you think all students lack this proficiency levels or some?
I think most of them, like in the college which I am teaching,
Okay, may I know the name of the college?
I'm from the
Is it
post college.
Post college.
Yes. JBIT.
Okay.
So
Okay.
here,
I think the same college, right?
yes, yes.
All right. So you intend to say that my students have dismally low level of communication, and my attempts to communicate with them in English proving futile. What do we do about it? Okay, let's see. Let's try to look at that. Very nice. Any other? What kind of classroom do you have, Annie? Are you sister or Annie?
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
What kind of classroom do you have? Is it homogeneous culturally, linguistically, etc.? Rural, urban divide is there?
Yeah, we have a rural divide.
Okay,
Our
rural, urban
students,
divide, right?
yes, we have.
And English medium and Telugu medium divide you have?
Yeah, yes. Not much,
Urdu
but
medium as
we
well?
do have. Urdu
You do
medium, I
have
don't
it.
think we have, sir.
Okay.
We have a
Okay.
heterogeneous, not homogeneous. But
All
Kirtana in the
right.
chat
So
has
this,
responded.
okay. Okay. Even from English medium, do you find people not having the required quantum and degree of communication?
Yes,
Annie?
I have felt that, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Okay. Fine. That's an interesting problem. Any other? Mohan? Mohan, any other? Could you please activate our participants? I don't know how many there are, considering the problem that it's a working day. They must be in their colleges. I know, and technical issues like I have here. You may also have. Any other? There are 26 participants. What's happening to them? Sister Shiny, what problems do you have? Sister Shiny,
Sir,
it's an
can I speak?
interactive session.
Sir,
Yes.
can I? Yes, sir. A very good
May-
afternoon, sir.
May I know who this is?
Sir, this is Dr. Pallavi from ICFA University, Jharkhand, Ranchi.
Wonderful. Very nice, Dr. Pallavi. Yeah,
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Pallavi, what challenges do you have with your students?
Sir, actually, I'm a faculty of management.
Okay.
Fine. Okay, sir. So I usually take HR paper, soft skills, and economics paper for my students, sir, in different programs. So
Fine,
actually,
fine.
the problem what I face is that the students are coming from different backgrounds. So we are not
All right.
finding a homogeneous set of students in the class. Some
That's
students
right.
are slow
Wonderful.
learner. Some students are very fast learners. So in what way, in what pace as a faculty we have to approach to the students, sir? Because we have a
Wonderful.
level of
Very
teaching.
nice. Wonderful.
Okay.
That's it.
So in order to reach their frame of reference, So what should be the approach so that our class can reach everyone?
Wonderful.
Sir,
That's
good
a
afternoon.
practical question. Who's this?
Yeah, sir, this is Dr. Sister Shiny.
Dr. Shani, please go
Yeah.
ahead. Where
Yeah.
do you teach and what do you teach?
Yeah, ours is degree aided college, degree and PG aided college,
In Kerala.
Andhra Pradesh. I am from
Okay.
Kerala, but I am working
Okay.
in Andhra Pradesh now. Presently
Okay,
in
what
Tenali.
challenges?
Yeah.
What challenges, ma'am?
I basically teach for PG students.
Okay.
So though they are in PG students, we have to use a bilingual method. So I use both the languages to give explanation. Some are very smart, some are so low learners. So we give them special explanation as per the need. So like that, things are going on.
So you don't teach language per se, Dr. Shani.
I take
You
one.
teach-
In that communication skill, one communicative English, one paper is there, sir, for PG.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now,
Yeah,
the
in
very
that
pathetic
vocabulary
situation in that case.
enhancement, idioms, etc. are there, and also verbal communication practicals is there. Practicals paper is there.
Okay. So you, again, your classroom is heterogeneous and you don't know what to do with different kinds of people, but you're one teacher. How do you communicate? That's an issue. I think I have I have some adjustments that you can use perhaps to, because we don't have a magic wand in our hands to say, abracadabra, you're going to do this. Let's all discuss this problem. It's indeed an endemic problem. It's not your own, Dr. Shiny. Okay. There is one more participant, Kirtana. What problems do you have? Kirtana? Kirtana is not there. Siddharth? Are they online? They are online, but are they really listening to us? Just the 3 persons voiced their concerns about being part of some heterogeneous class that I'm trying to use a technical word called pluralistic class. Jairamdu?
Yes, sir.
Jairamdu, good afternoon. Could you please come up? What issues do you have when you face your classes and where you are put up? Jairamdu?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I joined. I couldn't hear you properly, please.
No, my question is that every day you teach English, and what challenges do you have about your classroom? About your learners? When I say classroom,
Sometimes,
I'm not talking
yes, sir.
about the space.
Sometimes I fail in handling the class, and sometimes I fail in grabbing their attention.
Why? What kind of a class is it? Is it a homogeneous class? Students have the same socioeconomic background, linguistic background, cultural background? Jairamdu?
Yes, sir. For sure, it's heterogeneous. We can't say students come from, yes, students are from different backgrounds, right? And cultural backgrounds. So obviously, because of that, sometimes I personally fail in handling the class.
Okay, because of that. Have you tried any strategies to be able to reach all the nook and corners of your class? Because there are different worlds in the same class. Jairamdu?
Yes, sir. So I used.
Yeah, I mean, you must have tried and used only your voice. As a teacher, you would have used your voice trying to reach, right? And everybody expects that the teacher speaks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dr. T. Ishwar Rao, could you please throw some light on what we're doing now, sir? Dr. Rao? Anybody? There are about 27 participants. Only 4 of you could voice some things about your classes. It being heterogeneous, it being multicultural, it being, multilingual. So what strategies, what issues do you have? If the objective of your standing in the class is only to complete the syllabus, there are no questions. But if your objective of standing in the class is to help your students pick up the required communication skill set to land jobs, you will certainly run into issues, challenges you must be facing. What are those? Several of them already said it. Shipra Malik.
So one of the participants has said that lack of motivation to learn English in engineering students is a challenge.
Okay, but why didn't you motivate them? Okay, lack of motivation. One participant said lack of motivation on the part of the students. Motivation to learn English. That means they do. Yeah, wonderful. Is this Annie who is echoing, right? Oh,
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Pallavi. Annie, right? Okay. We have Jairam spoke. Annie spoke. Others, please. Abhisheka. No. Abhisikta. No. Mary. Are they your colleagues? Manasavina.
Hello, sir.
Who's speaking? May I know?
Sir, I'm Mary.
Abhisikta, welcome to our session. Please tell, are you Mary? Yeah, right?
Yes, sir, I'm Mary.
Okay, Mary, you must be teaching, you must be facing classes on daily basis, I'm sure, for which you are hired. What challenges you have, Mary?
So the challenges are like I teach students for at UG level. My classroom is a heterogeneous classroom. The difficulty is, yes, homogeneous.
Okay.
Yes.
Heterogeneous, right.
Yes,
in what sense heterogeneous, Mary?
Multilingual, yes, sir. Multilingual, multicultural.
All right.
And and the socio like difference in
different
like
social worlds, different
yes,
linguistic worlds, right?
Yes, sir.
They
So
all
I need
congregate
to,
under the same roof. Yeah.
yes, sir. My difficulty is I need to complete the syllabus as well as like I need to go from the beginning, like even a simple letter writing, for example. So
Okay.
even if I write it on a board, see when I ask them to write again, suppose when they are seeking for a permission or for leave or such, now I find that they are repeating the same like what do you call it?
Irrespective of the
The
requirement,
errors.
same set of sentences, right?
Yes,
They
so
would
when
have,
I ask
they would
them,
have,
so when I ask them that why are you repeating even after so many like the feedback, like the way I have taught or the format which I have taught, why are you not able to follow that? They say that, ma'am, we learn in this way at a intermediate level.
So where do
they're
you
not
teach? You're also
able to-
teaching in Tenali?
Sorry, sir.
Where do you teach, Mary?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I taught them the format, the way of
Where?
writing.
Where do you teach?
Like in engineering college, sir.
In Hyderabad?
Yeah, in Hyderabad, sir. In Hyderabad.
Okay, you teach in an engineering college. You have the same kind of problems. Okay, Mary, thank you very much. Wonderful. And any other? Thank you, Mary. Let's look at some more.
Okay.
Gayatri Ramya. Thank you, Mary. Gayatri Ramya, Vamshi, Samel Babu. Please, this is a workshop. Shailaja, Anupriya, Rambabu. It's an interactive session, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that you have some pressing issues related to your classroom. When I say classroom, not trying to say it's a place. It's students, all about learners that you have. All right. So thank you very much for your responses, considering the issues that you have while interacting with your students in the name of teaching language. Next slide, please. So this is the topic. As I said, we need to go for innovative, we have to make some innovations. And what is innovation? And what is a pluralistic classroom? Nilambas, next slide, please. Okay, this is the topic. No. First, What are the challenges? You've already voiced your challenges. And these are the challenges. Just leave it. What are the challenges of today? You've already voiced your challenges. One of you, oh God. Please. Rahim Ahmad Khan, please switch off your mic. Rahim Ahmad Khan. Yeah, that's right. Now, what is in store for us today? What is in the next 1 hour that we have at our disposal? We've got to do some things. I think 1 hour, right? Maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour. Let's look at this. What is in? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, in this interactive session, hey, hello, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, not forward. Next, not next, earlier. Yeah, that's right. In this interactive session, I'll discuss briefly what do I discuss? The practice in vogue of the teaching, learning English. First one, practice in vogue. We have already seen. And then postulate adjustments to make learning more inclusive. Dr. Suvarn already discussed. Natural and enjoyable, because our topics are not independent and mutually exclusive. The topics that earlier speakers have already spoken, they have a lot of give and take, and they are not mutually exclusive, but there's a lot of give and take. First, let's see what's happening today in teaching English and what kind of classrooms we have. Then I'll make a case for innovation by citing convincing reasons. Why we've got to go, we have to invent certain practices. Why? The reasons are, our classes are multicultural. Why are they multicultural? Because of the success of welfare programs of various governments and pluralism in the class, multiculturalism in the class as a result, and particularly what has changed, how the status of English in our country has changed will also be discussed. Then I'll identify the areas that require innovation in order to accommodate the heterogeneity, accommodate the multicultural nature of the students into the class, for which I am postulating, I'm giving you, I'm a piece of advice. I'm giving you some suggestions to have something called a learning-centered classroom. Today's classroom, what is it today, and how we have to go over to construct a learning-centered classroom. That I say is the solution for the classes that we have, problems and challenges that we face in our classes. I'll conclude the presentation, interactive presentation, by saying that language learning happens not as a result of the presence of the teachers or the learners. Just because there is a teacher in the classroom, just because there are learners in the classroom, the learning doesn't happen. Why? Because learning is not always in the hands of the teacher, not the learners. For me, learning is a cooperative activity of the learning partners. Who are those partners? Are they really active? If they're not active, are they passive? If they are passive, how do we activate them to contribute positively for the construction of positive learning? Next one. Now, how I'm going to observe or handle this topic today. Next slide, please. Yeah. What is the sequence of this presentation? First, what's innovation? I will have to define innovation. Then why innovation? What is the problem for the system in vogue? I'll have to explain to you. What are the areas that require innovation to accommodate the plurality? And I'll conclude the class. Next, please. Now, here, one is invention. To understand the concept of innovation, we need to postulate it with something called a contiguous term called invention. First, we need to understand invention, to understand innovation. Next, please. What is invention? Invention is creating something new. It could be a process, a practice, or a device. Anything, something new, anything new. For example, the process of education is not being invented by us here today. It was invented some centuries ago by our Munis education, but it had undergone a lot of changes, a lot of innovations to accommodate the learning as well as the changed learning and change, the learners in our schools and colleges. So it's an invention, something creating, but the process of education is not new. The practice of education is not new. Now, what is innovation then? What is already created, we bring in some changes. Next, please. Yeah, you can see here. The changes or change made to an existing process or an existing practice or a device is innovation. For instance, the system of education is not something that we are creating anew today. It is already there. Because we have heterogeneous classrooms, we need to bring in changes to this. That is called innovation. The process of education to be put to some changes. The practice that we do, we change. Therefore, we need to find some changes, bring in changes to the system which is already there. Next one, please. And the next slide will explain to you pictorially what is invention. This phone was invented in the 60s. But it had only limited uses that were put to at that time. But the changing times required that particular device to also change in order to accommodate various requirements and changes of the user. On your right hand, you can see a smartphone. On your left hand, you will see a original, the phone of the first generation, and that a lot of changes have been made to that in order to understand, in order to meet the requirements of the user. So it is an innovated version of what was already invented, a prototype what was invented in the 60s. This is what it is. On your left hand, you have education system. On your right hand, that education system is not what was invented some centuries ago, is not fit to accommodate the heterogeneous students in our class. That's why we have to bring changes to this teacher-student interaction in the class. And that's why we are positing, we are trying to make changes that bring in some innovation to the practice and the practice of teaching, learning in the classes. Next one, please. Now, what is the next one, please? Yeah, this is right. You can see it here. Yeah. When you look at your classrooms, you've already said Annie, Pallavi, Shiny, Jairamdu, Mary, and all of them echoed this particular thing. This is a pluralism. You have on your left-hand side, you can see poor learners, and you can also see on the right-hand side a very rich learner. Capital-wise, money-wise, there is a pluralism in our classrooms. We have students from poverty-stricken homes, and also we have students who come from rich community. They come on motorbikes, sometimes they come on cars, and they're ready to throw any amount of money to secure a seat and sit in our classes. This is the first level of pluralism that you face in your classes. Next one, rich and the poor, you can see. Another one, cultural capital. One is the capital, another is the cultural capital. What is this cultural capital? Cultural capital is you have students who have a lot of books at home because their parents are educated, grandparents are educated, siblings are educated, and they have a certain level of culture. That is culture. What I mean is culture, book culture, reading culture, and all of them do studies together. They discuss. Parent is a professor, mother is a teacher, parent is an advocate, Mother is also an advocate, doctors, teachers, accountants. Okay, which means to say that we have students whose parents are educated. They know the value of education. They know the value of books. And therefore, a child who comes from a home where there are books everywhere, and again, we have in the same classroom a student you can see on your left-hand side who lives in a shanty, very small, small house-like place where there's nothing except, I think it's the one-room tenement, and even the cycle is outside, which is broken. And I don't think the parents here have any space in their house to house any books. Even the parents are not educated. So this is another level. We have students who bring in cultural capital into the class, and their level of learning is easier. They pick up things very fast because that is part of their culture, part of their thinking, part of their regular routine. But the student that we have on our right-hand side has no book. Therefore, his imagination is not occupied. Anything that is called literacy, anything that's called education, anything that's called learning. Therefore, for him, he requires a lot of motivation as to the use, as to the uses of literacy, as to the uses of education in general, and the uses of English communication skill in particular. In the earlier slide, we saw heterogeneity in terms of capital, money, and here heterogeneity, cultural capital. And the next one, please. Heterogeneity in terms of faith. I think there's one more slide, right? There's one more picture, please. The picture is not to be seen. And you can see it here. Heterogeneity in terms of faith. You have the students coming from, Hinduism. There are students who come from Islam. There are students coming from, Sikhism, Christians, and we have many other faiths congregating the same roof. And each religion gives a degree of variation in giving importance to education. For instance, girl education is not something that is equally distributed across these religions. Some religions give a lot of importance. And if the parents have cultural capital, irrespective of the religion, they have no problem in sending their girl children to school. But others have a problem. Even the kind of material that we use in the class sometimes may not go very well with people from other. Excuse me, sir. Someone has put, hello, there is noise. Mr. Ahmad? Who is Rahim Ahmad here? Okay, so this is another area. We have students coming from various faiths congregating. I mean, they all of meet up in the same place, sharing the same place, sharing the same space. But their value of education in their faith differ. In general, value of English education also heterogeneous. Multicultural classroom. Multicultural classrooms, we have students from rural and we have students from multilingual. We have students from those who studied in Telugu medium, students who have studied in Velugu medium, students who have studied in Urdu medium, Arabic, and students who would have already studied some English and come to class. We have students whose parents are educated. There are books everywhere. And there are again parents, students whose parents are illiterate, and there is no space for any book in there. So their value, their level of motivation towards education apparently is a problem for, as Jayaramudu rightly put it, lack of motivation. Those who have motivation will have books. My God, I think you can please manage this for all the participants, dear organizers. Okay, put all their mics and mute them, not mine, of course. And why innovation? So these are the reasons. And next, next please. Next one, please. So I emphasize that the heterogeneity in also girl students. In some religions, girls are not allowed to go into the schools because the girl students force them or request their parents, they're allowed, but the level of motivation also. So apart from the multicultural, these things, we also have this. Why our classes are heterogeneous, multicultural, pluricultural, and multilingual? It is because of the success of the welfare program. Please understand, state governments have established hundreds by spending, crores of rupees for those for whom it has been a far cry 15, 20 years ago. They were not allowed because of the poverty, because of the distance, because of the non-availability of facilities, non-availability of even a minimum facilities such as toilets in the schools and colleges. And for a long time, parents did not allow girl children to come to classes. Dalits, Adivasis, because of the kind of ideology prevalent at that time about the schools, and they could not make it to education. But government, with their welfare program, started establishing social welfare schools, not just hostels. Hostels are attached to the schools, residential schools. Therefore, for whom education had been a far cry, became accessible, and they also started coming in hordes into the colleges. One, and we also need to accommodate the teachers' ideology must be a place for adjustments for inclusivity, to accommodate them, as well as the awareness of the power of education with the Ambedkarism going great guns across the country, who has emphasized sections of society for whom education had been denied, and education alone can defeat poverty. Education alone can defeat all the ostracization, social ostracization, and people now, because of this continuous propagation of the power of education, for whom education was a waste of time, also started thinking loudly about its uses and started walking. Multicultural classroom, I've just told you about multiculturality in terms of gender, in terms of capital, in terms of cultural capital, in terms of faith. All you could see them in your classes. Another very, very important, as a result of all the students deciding to come for education, and also, programs of state government in Telangana, state government in Andhra, making engineering education free, and the fee being paid by government as part of their social welfare programs. Our colleges, our classes are large classes, more than 40, 50, sometimes you could see them. Language learning is not a theory where you can just look at your board and start writing, or dig into your book or start dictating. They can take down notes and go out, but it is a skill. For a skill, you need a small classroom. But unfortunately, our classes are large classrooms. What do we do? Large in terms of size of the classroom, large not in terms of space of the classroom, large in terms of not in terms of the furniture of the classroom. Large is all about the number of students more occupying your classroom. So these are that actually go for students. Sandhya said, yes, ma'am, that's right. Large in terms of people. I mean, the students, I think we should use the word learners. So these are the pressing demands that ask for making adjustments to the activity that we do, the activity of conducting teaching in our classes. And for that, it's that we brace up to make changes to them. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, there is one more important change. Slide change, please. Change slide, please. And this is important here. And you know, this book, Mark Tully, I'm sure you can pick up this book. Mark Tully is a very important and influential British journalist who were born in and worked for BBC radio until recently. He was very active. You remember in 1990, Government of India signed an agreement called General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, which is today called World Trade Organization. When we signed on the World Trade Organization, that is the beginning of our country becoming a member of what is called globalization. Globalization means we have done away with the license Raj. Earlier, even to import tape recorder or CD or a mobile phone, we had to have a lot of licenses, and Government of India had to give license in order to import them. But after we became globalized, we have opened doors to something called free market. Without any license, without any permission from anyone, one can actually import more number of goods into the country. And that's the beginning of what's called globalization. And after globalization, Government of India also signed the globalization because new services apart from goods will also enter Indian market, opening new jobs to Indian youth for whom jobs meant at that time jobs in the factories owned by government and jobs that are in the government sector. But it thought, since the youth, is large in number, the government sectors are unable to provide job opportunities. So they thought by signing the GATT agreement, by signing and becoming a member of World Trade Organization, the globalization begins, and that will also usher in new wave jobs into the country. And that's when I'm sure you would have seen advertisements in the 90s. I do not know how many of you were born. Students wouldn't have, but teachers would have, or you would have seen advertisements published in newspapers that, are you a chatterbox? Are you being ashamed of seeking more at home? Everyone hates you? Not to worry. Do come to us. There is a job for you. The jobs came our way. All those jobs are call center jobs. They came hundreds and thousands in number in order to accommodate the youth of our country and give them jobs. And also a lot of malls and computer related multinational companies came our way, and they started pitching their tents on the outskirts of our large cities, such as Hyderabad, such as Vijayawada, such as centers, and asking the youth to apply. And that's when Mark Tully, a very conscientious journalist, he toured the country in the middle of 90s in order to see how many of the youngsters got into these new wave jobs that came our way after we became globalized. And after touring, he wrote a book, and one chapter in that book is the title of that is India is Divided, post-globalization, after globalization. And he wrote that, published in this book as a chapter, is divided. Why is India divided? India was already divided in 19. That division was on religious terms. Two countries made, one is Pakistan, another India, on religious lines. But why is that? What has divided India this time? This time, he says that English language has divided India. There are two Indias in the country. He projected in his article. Please read it. It's a very interesting chapter, India Divided. It's available in this book, Non-Stop India, written by Mark Talley. And he says that he gives a very grim picture, very disturbing picture in that essay. He says that the jobs came our way, what I call it the new wave jobs, all demanded the fluency of English language. They are all English-centric, which means to say that the jobs that government of India thought would accommodate our educated but fell apart. Only those urban educators, only people who were educated in convent schools, only students who were educated in English medium got these jobs. The rest of India that lived in the countryside, in the villages, could not run this race. Only 5% of our Indian youth who could speak English, who has a fluency of English, who could landed the job. He said, lived in the villages, they were denied these jobs. It is no doubt situation critical. Courage and disturbing picture about our job market. And that's when, after revelation made by Talley, the government of India decided to, appoint a committee to actually look into the situation of education, particularly to look into the educational scenario and recommend to government what steps to be taken later. And at that time, please, next slide. At that time, United Progressive Alliance government was in force. Excuse me, change the place. Slide change, please. Yeah, under the leadership of this man, UPA 2, United Progress Alliance government 2, appointed Sam Pitrada, whose name is Satyanarayana Patrudu. What are you doing? Satyanarayana Patrudu, and his anglicized name is Sam Pitrada. He's a very close friend of Rajiv Gandhi, who is also credited with the development in the field of telecommunication when Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, and he was instrumental in bringing telecommunication today, digital revolution. That was the beginning at that time. Under his leadership, they appointed a committee. Committee looked and examined the situation, and it provided solutions, recommendations to the government, saying, teach English from class 1. But earlier, English used to be taught from class 5. He said, no, because of the new job market requires our Indian youth to be able to communicate in English. Therefore, teach English as a skill from class 1. If not, the committee also very strongly recommended that, if possible, make English as medium of instruction in all the schools, particularly government-run schools, because anyway in the private industry, in the private schools, it's English medium. And in response to the report published by Mark Talley, Government of India appointed a committee. This is called National Knowledge Commission, NKC, recommended for the introduction of English from KG to PG and teach all the subjects in English from KG to PG. Unfortunately, United Progressive Alliance government at that time had its own alliance partners from Bihar, partners from Bengal, partners from UP. They did not accept the recommendation because they said Hindi will be or should be the language. And as a result, although the parliament did not accept the recommendation, but indirectly they gave suggestions to all government, state governments, particularly Congress-run government at that time, to take this recommendation seriously and change it. That's the beginning of what we saw in Andhra Pradesh, unified Andhra Pradesh success schools, which were established by, the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Rajashekar Reddy, who started as a pilot project, introduced English from KG to PG and not just as a language, but all subjects to be taught in the English medium. But after that, governments changed, and several as a result, I think that decision was not properly accepted. But till recently, Jagan Mohan Reddy, I think he followed suit and he made all subjects taught from KG to PG in English medium. Why? It's not just as a fad or a fashion that people should speak English. It is because of the job market. Ultimately, the jobs should be made available to our youth, and Mark Tully's suggestion was taken very seriously, and I think all now the schools that are funded by central government and even in state government funded residential schools, BC welfare schools, SC welfare schools, ST welfare schools, minority welfare schools are all, they offer education with English as medium of instruction only in the rural areas where there are rural schools that are promoting local language. But see the situation there. Now, also please understand, because of this suggestion, what used to be the status of English prior to the report of NKC, the status of English was only library language. Only one skill used to be highlighted, that is reading. Reading, which means as a result, our teachers used to read and translate into English, or read in English and translate into Telugu. And even in the examination, Telugu script used to be translated into English, and English script used to be translated into Telugu. And there was some grammar, but there was no communication, please understand. But with the tabling of these reports in the parliament, the status of English in our country also changed. What merely being a library language to be a language for all communications. That's why today we are teaching English not just for one skill of reading or writing in the exams, but skill of listening, skill of speaking, skill of reading, skill of writing. All the four skills, along with their elements of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, are systematically being made part of our curriculum. Why? Because of the presence of English language, because of the presence of multinational companies, because of the pressing demands of the job market, asking for youth who should be proficient in English. You would see in an engineering college, in schools and colleges, we are teaching all the four skills along with their elements such as vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Now, that's the behind the scenes. But what kind of students we have? As a result of the success of welfare programs and the success of the getting to know of the power of education, and all India being a country with multicultural in nature, and that multiculturality and is there in our classes, and to be able to conduct our classes where there are several voices, but the teacher voice is one. So how this difficult situation to be navigated? There are voices in the class means there are different voices, which means to say that heterogeneous class, but the teacher's voice also has its own ideology. How is it now? It's a difficult situation. It's actually a situation requiring urgent solutions. It is situation critical. Next one, please. Now, what are the areas that require to be? Next one, please. Exactly. Next one, please. Yeah, so all this power of education, proliferation of technology, etc. Next one, please. Yeah, this we have already done. Next one. Demand for English language is also huge. Status of English, I've already said. Yeah. Before globalization, we learned only 2 skills, reading and writing. But post-globalization, we've been asked to do, because it's part of the curriculum, ladies and gentlemen, LSRW. Next one. Hello. Next one. Yeah, NEP also put a lot of pressure on our curriculum, because it's asking us to go for multilingual education, which means teach everything in the language of the learners, and it is to be outcome based. Skills should be preferred. It's not just knowledge or teaching grammar, teaching rules of structures, teaching rules of pronunciation is not enough, but they should be able to use language. Interactive education, that is one important demands or recommendations of National Education Policy 2020. And learner's choice should be respected. If the learner doesn't want to learn English, it's okay, put him aside, but he will not be able to land the jobs. They have no problem. They should come for English language. They may have problem with mathematics, etc., etc. Next one. So, learning-centered classroom. What I'm trying to propose, one of the solutions for all this is learning-centered classroom. We have basically 3 types of classrooms. One is teacher-centered classroom. I'm sure this is a predominantly used classroom in our educational scenario. It is because of one reason. The reason is that classrooms are large and there are various heterogeneous students in the class. So teacher doesn't know how to communicate with all of them at the same time. So what teacher does, teacher comes into the class, teacher, requests them to sit silently, don't make noise, sit, no noise in the class, pin drop silence, don't move, just listen to me and make notes. That means that is a teacher-centered class, which perhaps one can use in something called a subject-based, a content-based classroom, where there is some content to be transacted in the class. Let's say physics, let's say mechanical engineering. The teachers can stand on a erected, raised platform in front of a podium, can dictate, others will write and go away, because that's not a skill-based, it's knowledge-based. But English language being skill-based, we need to immediately discard this teacher-centered classroom, because don't translate, don't just give meanings they can write down and regurgitate in the dumping yard called examination hall. But we need outcome-based education, as has been emphasized in the NEP. So therefore, teacher-centered classroom is what is being predominantly used. I'm sure because of the nature of the classroom today, because of the multicultural profile of the classroom, we have to now, we are comfortable being teacher-centered. Is there something called learner-centered classroom? I don't think it is possible to have learner-centered classroom, because you also need a teacher. In any learning, it has to, why do the students come to school or class to learn? Why do the teacher go to class? Teacher goes to class to conduct learning. If the objective of the teacher going to the class is to conduct learning, the learner walking into the class to learn, when the objective of both these people is learning, I think we have to go for what is called learning-centered classroom. Because in the teacher-centered classroom, learner is absent. In the learner-centered classroom, teacher is absent. The objective of both, the presence of both these agencies is one. That is linked to learning. Let's have something called a learning-centered classroom. If you have any question, please write down. We will try to address it towards the end of. So how do we construct a learning-centered classroom? What are the salient features of this learning-centered classroom? Can anyone here tell me what a teacher-centered classroom? Do you agree with me that teacher-centered classroom, teacher does everything. There is a syllabus to complete. There are number of hours to complete. There is attendance to mark. Okay. There are some questions to be given. There are some answers to be given. Questions are given. Answers are dictated. Teacher is happy because syllabus is done. That is the worry of the teacher. And teacher also speaks continuously in the class because he is a paid speaker. All the teachers know that they have to speak in the classroom. They are paid to speak in the classroom. And the teacher, when she is in the classroom, if the principal goes around, now what does the teacher do? What's the teacher response? Teacher raises the voice. That itself is an indication that all the classes today are being conducted in the teacher-centric mode, and also teachers know that they are paid salary, if not every month, once in 3 months, only for speaking in the class. What is the speech? The speech is about the textbook. Okay. Now, panacea, the solution for these large classes, heterogeneous classes, is to establish something called learning-centered classroom. How does it look like? What is a learning-centered classroom? What do we do in order to pitch in such a system of learning? And let's now go on to see. Next one, please. Hello? Yeah. So we have to find some, make innovations. Innovation should not be understood something abracadabra, something completely new. Innovation is making adjustments to the system that is already in vogue, that require to be innovated, that require to be emancipated, required to be changed to pitch in learning-centered classrooms. What are these? What are these areas? Next one. The areas are like this. One is classroom, second one teacher, second one learner, fourth one learning materials, delivery methods, evaluation, and class, which means there are much more. We have to make changes to the classroom that you inhabited as a place. Teacher must also make adjustment to the way she behaves in the class. The learner should also feel responsible for learning. The textbooks must also be changed. Learning materials could be textbook, audio material, video material, workbooks, okay, digital material, delivery methods. The teacher, what does the teacher do today? Teacher talk, teacher lecture today. Another one, the examination should also be put to changes. And plus, what are these plus? These plus are our principal, these plus are our colleagues, this plus is our government, plus is our parents, plus is our society, plus is our management. They should also come because they also have a responsibility for the construction of our third variety of classroom called learning-centered classroom. Next one. So what is today? What kind of, they are called the partners of learning, everyone. These partners of learning. Now look at the classroom today. Enough. Please. Only one side. Yeah, that's right. So this is today's classroom. It is immovable seating furniture, crowded classroom. Today's classroom is teacher always in teacher's place. Learners are caged between the desk and the bench. You can see it. For the girl who is there in that corner to participate in any activity, for instance, it's not possible to have any learning activity to be pitched in this classroom. So this is the kind of furniture we have in our schools. Look at the teacher, poor teacher. She is now speaking. All others are looking at her as they are seeing a human being for the first time, right? Learners are caged, no place nor scope for both the teacher and the learners to move about. So they sit, they are crucified to sit, condemned to sit, and the teacher is condemned to speak. This is a classroom in vogue, means is a classroom in praxis today. Next one. Now teacher. Now we have already seen the teacher. Pity. The teacher fixed to teacher's face, and teacher, you can see her speaking continuously, and you can also see the faces of the learners who are listening to her. Who knows what they are doing, but you can see their heads are fixed on her. Their looks are fixed on her. We know how our students seem to be looking to us, but they mostly on their flight of imagination and fantasy. And teacher acts as a dictator today. Sit down, don't move, take down the notes, don't make a noise, put your finger across the lips, don't, etc. Silence, please. The court is in session. So that kind of classrooms are there. Teacher, what can he do? Because he's dictator. Why? Because he knows grammar, no? That's why power and knowledge. Next one, please. These are all in vogue. In vogue means in practice. Now, what kind of students do we have? Today, we do not have learners. We have students. Students are passive. Learn only from the teacher God. Well groomed to be a student. Well groomed to be a student. They are passive and silent. Used to spoon feeding. You dictate the notes. They take it down happily. No scope to learn from peers and others. We have seen the classroom, such a crowded classroom. Is there any space to move about? No. So therefore, we have students. We have to now convert them to learners. Learners are active because learn plus ER. And the next one, please. This is Rahim is disturbing. I don't know why. Ahmad Khan.
Yes.
Rahim Ahmad Khan is disturbing. Why don't you please ask him to mute his mobile or something?
I think it is muted. Just.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Another, the spoke in the wheel of learning is materials, textbooks. I think most of the time our teachers don't know who prepare them, and our learners do not know till the textbook lands in their hands. They do not know what is in store for them. It's a suspense thriller. Pre-prepared. Neither the teachers nor the learners are asked as to what kind of textbook they want. Textbook writers decide. Mostly about 60 or 70, they sit somewhere in an AC room, somewhere in Delhi or somewhere in Hyderabad. They write the textbook, but the teachers, neither the teachers nor learners have any say in it. Organizers, this Rahim Ahmad Khan is disturbing. Why don't you please ask him to exit? In the preparation of the textbook, you see, because it is this is the final product. This is the full meal given to the teachers and learners. The teachers do not know whether they have any taste in it. Nor the students know whether they can eat. Someone else prepares it. Learners have no say, more text, little activity, textbook only, no other thing. Uninteresting, because there's a huge generation gap. The generation today always spend their time in multimedia presentations. They want only animated things, but not dead like the textbook. Uninteresting, literature centered. Nobody's reading books, but there is a lot of literature. United by the textbook, but divided by the culture. The culture that is encoded in the textbook, whose culture is this? That's very important. This is always the mainstream culture, educated culture, urban culture. But what about our learners? What homes do they come from? What culture do they bring into the classroom? Does the culture of the textbook have anything to do with the culture of the learners? So united by a textbook, but all learners and learning is divided by the culture. Culturally inappropriate. Another problem is one book across the country, one book across the university. But we know that in our own class, there are students who can read English, but there are students who cannot read English. There are students who can use English or students who can't use English. One textbook is unable to meet. That's a situation very critical. We need to do something about this one textbook for one class system. Next one, please. Delivery methods. What do teachers do? Teachers lecture. Teacher talks. A lot of board work. Teacher explains. And one teacher said, especially there is a teacher who is teaching. Mary said, we are teaching literature even in bilingual mode. That's why they will be never be able to complete the syllabus because they have to transact the same textbook in 2-3 languages. A lot of board work, lectures, translations, explanations, but no scope for the learner to use language in the classroom. It is teacher-centered, basically. Next one. Next one. Evaluation system is a very, very daunting experience. All the teachers and learners, particularly learners, agree with me that this is a suspense thriller till the packet that contains the question paper is cut open and given to the learners. Neither the teachers know what is inside, nor the learners know. Such suspense thriller. In our country, conducting any examination is exactly lying, it is a very, very disturbing fact. Recently, you would have seen our question papers were all leaked. There is police with a box of question paper with a gun now going around. Our evaluation system is learners are never asked what kind of questions do they want. Teachers are never asked what kind of questions do you actually use in the classes and you taught your students. No feedback after the exam. We only either fail them or pass them. Our students do not know why they fail, nor do they know why they get marks. And there are always easy solutions. We add marks and pass them. This is the kind of thing that's happening in our system so far. Next one. Next one, please. Excuse me. JB? Yeah. And now, what will happen to the, I think only one, please look at the, show only the picture, sir. Excuse me. Okay. So when we innovate things, so this is the areas to be, my God, please listen to me. Yeah. See, you can see the areas to be innovated. When you innovate, madam, please show only the picture. Yeah. If you look at the picture, everybody, you would see that. So when our classrooms are, from the classroom that you saw already, crowded classroom. You have a classroom of this kind, and you can see that there is no fixed space for neither the learners nor the teacher facilitator. Teacher reduces his role as a classroom talker and a speaker or a lecturer. He becomes a facilitator. You can see the mobility of the chairs, the seating arrangement, the architecture of the classroom. The seatings arranged are not fixed. They are mobile. Therefore, when you want to conduct, because it's skill, the skill requires the learners to move from one place to another. Also should the teacher. So when you innovate your classroom, and we should always look for not fixed seating, free seating, dynamic seating, and the learners face each other like in round tables. Now, what is this? Next one, please. The text, please, here. And here, the furniture is movable. Teacher can reach the learners. No fixed division between the learners and teacher facilitator space. This kind of a classroom we should all back for. Next one. Next one, please. So this is, now you can see the teacher here. Please, this is important. Some of you would be thinking very loudly that, come on, we live in a poor country, not poor, developing country. Governments also don't give a lot of budgets to the classes to have such high-tech equipment in the classes. Now you can see this classroom. It is low cost and no cost. This classroom is always better than the classroom where the students are crammed and the seating is fixed and there is a fixed division between the learners and the students. You can see the teacher here. The teacher is so agile. He's so inclusive without any hangovers. You can see here, he doesn't throw his weight here. He's sat along with his learners. This is real in India. And here you can see the learning, how the teacher and learners are engrossed. And teacher is available for all the learners. And this kind of classroom, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need exactly a lot of money to be able to make our learners learn anything, including language. What is important is the attitude of the teacher. Attitude of the teacher must be in such a way that he accommodates the age, accommodates the socioeconomic background, accommodates the learning styles of the learners. And you can see it here, learning in action. This learning is active learning. We have to pitch in an active learning. For that, you can see a learning-centered classroom. Everybody is engrossed in the activity there. So does the teacher. So what's happening here? This teacher attitude is inclusive attitude. He has no hangover about his position, his stature as a teacher. He's comfortably perched on the floor alongside his own learners. And this teacher is the one who earns a lot of laurels and who earns a lot of respect from their learners, because he is certainly going to make a lot of behavioral change in their life. So what are the other features? Please, next one, please. Yeah, active, moves around, talks less, makes learners work more, is a facilitator. You can see here, teacher is facilitated and he is now part of the learner. Therefore, a teacher is a participant of the learning activity. And all of the learners are not students passively sitting, but they are also actively engaging in the class. That's why it's a learning of language must be made in participatory mode. Promotes learning through activities, not through speaking or talking. Next one. Next one. So we have seen next one. Look at the learner. This learner is not sitting looking at the teacher intently. These learners are active. They're participating in the learning activity that is facilitated by the teacher. Learns and interactions. These interactions, there are two kinds of interactions here. Peer-to-peer interaction, peer-to-teacher interaction. So the interaction should not be mistaken as only teacher and students interaction. There are two levels of interaction. Teacher to student, student to teacher, and student to student. I mean, learner to learner interaction. Learners play an active role. He is not a dependent, doesn't depend always on the teacher God, like we look up the sky for everything. And here they make a lot of noise, but that should not be considered noise. It is meaningful noise. Without making noise, there is no possibility for the learners to learn English. You need your classes to be noisy, but that noise is meaningful. That's where I say we need the support of our colleagues, we need the support of our principal, need the support of our management, need the support of our parents, need the support of our government. So they're all partners of learning. They're all the spokes in the wheel of learning. If one spoke doesn't cooperate, the wheel will crash down, will crash and it doesn't move. Therefore, teachers, don't think that because of your presence can make learning possible. You are one important figure in the whole process of, in the whole wheel of learning. Important, all other wheels also work through you. It means you need to have the blessings, you need to have the cooperation, you need to have the support of all other partners. And next one, what is the other partner? Next one, please. We have started late, that's why I think we are unable to finish it. Learn from friends and others. And areas to be innovated. Materials, textbooks should be tried out before they become textbook and land in your hands. Teachers should be consulted. And there should not be one textbook. There should be as many textbooks as there are requirements. Perhaps within the class, depending on the IQ level of the students, we can have multiple textbooks. If the objective of teaching is to make them communicate in English, the degrees of their proficiency may vary, but they have to be given an opportunity to use different levels of textbook. It is possible because of the availability of digital resources. We can group in the same class. We may have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. And accordingly, there may be different textbooks, and those textbooks must be, the system must make this textbook available in digital form, which can be downloadable in PDF versions. In intermediate education, the funny thing is that those who come from hi-fi schools with English medium background, they do the same book as those who come from Telugu medium. This is gross injustice. Having the same one textbook for all in an engineering class is also injustice. We need to have many textbooks, and they should be well prepared by keeping in mind the learning requirements of the learners. And there should be more activities so that teacher become a facilitator. Next one, please. Next one, please. Delivery mechanism of the teachers. Today's teacher depends completely on the voice, on the talk. If the textbook facilitates activities, so learning-centered games, only through activities, only through games, classroom can be turned into a learning-centered classroom. There should be tasks and activities, role plays, dramatic. Hello, Gauri Shankar. Gauri Shankar, please mute your voice. Dramatics, individual works, pair works, group works, project works. This is possible when the teacher is given autonomy to prepare the textbook. Autonomy, teacher autonomy is important. Teacher and learner must enjoy autonomy in terms of their learning materials, in terms of their activities, and such autonomy is given. Teachers should be very well trained. PhD is not important to become a teacher. MPhil is not important to become a teacher, but the teachers must be trained to make a distinction between teaching a subject and teaching a language. Teachers should know how to teach listening, how to teach reading, how to teach writing, how to integrate the elements of grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary into the input skills of listening and input skills of reading. What I'm trying to say that PhD is not important to become a teacher of language, but what is important, a special education, a specific education on how to teach English as a second language. Otherwise, what's happening? Teachers who are not trained, remember their good teachers come into the class and reproduce them. That doesn't serve the purpose, ladies and gentlemen. Teachers will have to undergo a diploma in the teaching of English, a certificate course in the teaching of English, a crash course in the teaching of English, because teaching a language L1 is different from teaching something is L2, and both of these are different from teaching something as a subject. Next one, please. Then only they'll be able to pitch in, create learning-centered classrooms where learners and teachers work hand in glove for active learning. And next one, please. This is gone already, over. Delivery method. Next one, please. Examination system. Today's examination system is question answer based. Today's examination system suspense thriller. Today's examination system is teacher centered. Today's examination system has nothing to do with the learner. So preparation of the questions should be given to the teachers, but not somebody sitting somewhere up above the sky in the clouds, prepare some question paper, who has no knowledge of what kind of learners are there in JB Institute, what kind of learners are there in CBIT, what kind of learners are there in rural engineering colleges. But one question paper all is gross injustice. The teacher, facilitator should be given this responsibility, because the teacher knows what kind of learners he has or she has. Accordingly, according to the level of the learner, there should be multiple question papers for the same students who study same language in the same classroom. Some students would like to write the exam. Some students would like to make presentations. Some students would like to write essays. Others would like to do multiple choice questions. How can we have one question paper? That is despotism. That's not democracy. We have to have democratic practices even within the classroom. Learners must be involved in the evaluation. Informal continuous evaluation should be respected, not only semester and exam based on which you evaluate the student. After the examination, student must be given feedback, and then it's possible. Next one, please. Hello, what happened? Hello, are you there, JB?
Yes, sir, we are here. Yes, sir, we are here.
But I think crashed. Presentation crashed.
Anyway. Okay,
Sorry,
shall we
ma'am?
wrap up, sir?
Okay, shall we wrap up? Yeah. So therefore, these are some of the important features, ladies and gentlemen. We have so far discussed that today's teacher-centered classroom is not helping because of the learners are multicultural, heterogeneous, plurilingual, pluricultural, and to accommodate them, we have to pitch in something called a learning-centered classroom where teachers must be given autonomy, and the learning happens as a result of the cooperative activity of the learning partners, the teacher, the classroom, the textbook, delivery methods, and evaluation system. All of them must be given a positive dressing down. They should be revisited, innovated for active learning to be pitched in our classes. Thank you very much. That's all I have for you, from me, for you now. Now, time for questions. Thank you very much. Over to JB.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now take up to the next level of that, which we talk about valedictory function. Okay. So may I now request my principal sir is already here, and Professor, my honorable secretary is also there. He has joined, he left, and he will be joining recently. So shall we start?
Yeah.
See,
Please.
my apologies. I've been speaking since almost 1:30. Should I be also part of this?
No, sir. No,
session?
sir. I wish that you should speak for 3 hours.
Because we have a problem. I'm in the hill.
I know. I know that you are capable of, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm on the hills in Shillong. We have neither internet nor electricity. And this is a holiday here in the university. And still I'm here trying to live up to my promise that I made to Nilambad and to JB Institute. And any questions for the presentation that I have, Nilambad?
Yeah, anybody is there who wants to talk? You ask questions.
Because
Personally, you can put it in the chat, otherwise you can talk about switching on.
Some of you may have some
music.
objections to the way I presented, saying that, you know, teacher must be given autonomy in the preparation of the textbook, preparation of the question paper, and there should be multiple question paper for the same students within the same classroom. It should be continuous evaluation, not done only at the end of the semester and decide the future of the students. The purpose of examination should be an encouraging experience, but today it's a very discouraging act on the part of the system. Colleges which have autonomy, for instance, they can think in terms of doing this. Okay, I think no questions from at least JB. We have Annie, Pallavi, Shiny, Jairamdu, Mary, Susmita, Dr. Susmita Banerjee. He is Susmita from IIT. Dr. Banerjee, are you from IIT? Okay. There is Mohan would like to say. Mohan?
Yeah. Hello, sir. This is Mohan. Yes, sir. This is Mohan.
Yeah.
Sir, I was a student of EFLU. So being there in EFLU, I actually have had an opportunity to have a classroom out of the like having a discourse or a debate outside the class, which was actually a huge help for me. But when it comes to these engineering colleges, I don't see any space that has such, like there is a space for some discussion apart from like out of classroom, because out of classroom activities helps a lot in learning. And as you also mentioned that it should not be a classroom centered learning.
No, the teacher
in that
centered
aspect.
learning.
Yeah. I mean to say that when it comes to learning, that has to happen at least in a place where an institution is actually helping you out in giving that space. But I seriously see that space is missing.
Okay, Mohan, did you do some courses there, PGDT?
I mean, I did my bachelor's and master's over there.
Bachelor and master, but go back to do PGDT, Mohan. Yeah, Mohan, your concern is absolutely understandable, because I also made it that learning doesn't happen just because there is a teacher motivator, teacher facilitator, just because there is a learner, there is a classroom, but we also need the active participation of the invisible agencies, the management, colleagues, principal, society, parents. They also have something, you know, to contribute to the active learning, Mohan. That's why we also have to co-opt with them and seek their support in making your activity very fruitful. That's right. There must be space.
Thank you.
There must be space for interaction outside the classroom as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right then. Continuous evaluation is very important. Sureka says. You're right, Sureka. I don't know where you work, but talk to your principals or make them speak to me. I will also convince you possible. If I have the, you know, locus standi to do it. Okay. Principal Garu is there.
Yes, sir. So namaste sir, Venkatraj sir, Professor Venkatraj sir. Yeah, I'm
Principal garu,
Dr. PC
namaste andi.
Krishnamacha,
Namaste
Principal.
andi. Thank you very much.
Thank you sir for giving valuable information. So
Namaste.
continuously giving very much thankful to you on behalf of JB Institute of Technology. Thank you very much sir. Yeah, Panda ji, please.
Sir, any ma'am. Sir, we are waiting for JVK sir to join. Secretary
JVK
sir to
sir, I
join.
think.
Okay.
Left.
Meanwhile, any other
He
questions?
left and ready to join.
Sureka is saying something. She said, Sureka, you want to speak? One of the participants by name Sureka, I saw here somewhere. She's also saying.
Sureka, she's there sir, yeah. Sureka, yes.
There are 33 participants. And Sandhya, would you like to? My student Sunita, are you there? Is Sunita my student? I don't know. Okay, anybody who would like to make a point? You can also contribute. We are all colleagues, everybody. I may be a senior colleague of yours. Mr. Rahim Ahmad Khan kept on, putting his mic on. Would you like to say something, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Dr. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. My name is Dr. Hathiram. So I was a student of. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So in the name of Paltiram there.
All right. I can see it. Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Palti.
My full name is Dr. Hathiram. I'm a student of IFLU and I learned a lot in PGDT and MPhil there. And 2011, 12th batch.
Are you my student?
Yes, I'm student of you, sir. And
okay, I remember now, Hathiram. Okay, go ahead, Athi. What would you like to say?
So I actually been covered many things like teaching English in Indian context. And before that, I would like to add a few more topics there. I mean, words there. Teaching English for in different countries, like in European countries and American countries, like Pakistan, in wherever the countries, one nation and one language.
Yeah.
So
monolingual.
Yes, one nation and one language in teaching and learning context. So there is no problematic in teaching and learning context in classroom situations. But whereas in Indian teaching class, so there is a problem with the teaching and learning process because India is known for like the multicultural, as we discussed many things, multi-language, and we have been covered many things like city cultures and rural background, the so-called regional medium background students. We have to bring them in a one platform in a single classroom. It's not a simple, and it is not easy task for English teacher to teach English for Indian context. We have to bear them. We have to bring their like in their context, their regional medium background, and we have to teach not only the the English language, but also we have to bring them their regional socio-economical background. So we have to teach not only the Indian context, but also we have to bring them the real life situations. This is how I wanted to speak. Thank you.
That's a good contribution. Okay, next one. All right, there's nothing else to do now.
Good evening, sir.
May I know your name, ma'am?
Sir, I'm Dr. Mosmi Padi from Odisha.
Okay, please voice your concern, ma'am.
Sir, actually, we are teaching in a government colleges in a rural belt, and the scenario is completely different here. The student has no inclination to read and write, and since last 5-6 years, like I have been trying with each and every method, but I I'm not able to just motivate at least 10% of students, because earlier I was there in engineering college for 10 years and that was like a good phase. But here, nothing really works.
Okay, ma'am. So, you see, I've just, proposed that we need to pitch in something called a learning-centered classroom, where in the learning, there are quite a few responsible factors. One, the college management. Two, the architecture of the college. Three, the furniture of the college. And teacher must be well versed in the way of teaching a language, which is different from teaching subject. We need more of those who have done some courses in the teaching of language, teaching of English in particular. But I told you, teacher talk is not enough. We need to have activities, therefore all are engaged. And at the same time, rural Orissa, you also need a different kind of a textbook. A different textbook for rural India, a different textbook for urban India, different textbook for those who come from regional languages, different textbook for those who come from English medium. Okay, ma'am. All right. So these things can address some of the problems.
Actually, sir, like the problem or the thing is completely different here. The student actually, they don't want to, like English is a foreign language for them. It's not like that they have studied it from class 1 to 12 class like that, but it's completely a foreign language for them. So I have tried like animation, I've tried pictures, I've tried with rhymes, I've tried with everything, but nothing really works, sir.
Which means to say, ma'am, that they don't want to learn English. It's okay. It's okay. My grandfather did not learn English. My father also did not learn English. We can feed those who are hungry, ma'am.
Okay.
If they don't want to learn English, so what can you and I do? We will try our best. We can take the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. Can you, Mosmi?
No.
So therefore, you just see, you put in your best foot forward. If the things don't come in the same way that you worked, that's all right. They don't want to learn English. Fine. Let them learn what they're comfortable with. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have done your bit as a facilitator. If the other party doesn't want to come and overcome and pick up the things that we want, it's all right that they've already decided not to learn English, but it's okay if they don't want to learn English. They'll find somewhere, someplace. Everybody has a space in this world to live, to survive. The degree of life may be different. The quality of life may be different.
Yes.
Sir,
that's right.
Thank you so much. And shall we go for a valedictory function, because we are running late, right? 30 minutes right now. Okay. May I call upon Annie madam to start?
Annie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
which
much
means
for the
today that my
insightful session, sir.
presentation is over,
And now we
right?
move on to the valedictory session. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. It's quite cold here.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Annie S. Dev, Assistant Professor in the Department of English, JBIET, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the valedictory ceremony of the one-week faculty development program on enhancing teaching excellence and resource capacity for 21st century teachers. We are honored to have with us Sri J.V. Krishna Rao Garu, Honorable Secretary, JVES, Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Venkat Reddy, Professor, Department of Training and Development, IFLU, Shillong, Principal, Dr. P.C. Krishnamachari, Dr. Neelam Panda, Head of the English Department, and Dean IRB, then along with other deans, heads of the department, faculty members, and dear participants. Before any further delay, I request our principal, Dr. P.C. Krishnamachari, to kindly address the gathering.
Honorable our Secretary, Sri J.V. Krishna Rao Garu, respected our Director, Professor Sanjay Garu, our Dean, Dr. Neelam Panda Garu, respected Chief Guest of Distinguished Professor Venkatreddy Garu, Iflu Shillong, and all the heads, all the distinguished resource persons, faculty members, and my dear participants, very good afternoon to all of you. I'm very happy for successfully conducting this 1 week online FDP. As we have come to the close of the enriching 1 week virtual faculty development program on enhancing teaching excellence and research capacity for the 21st century teachers, I'm filled with a sense of pride and gratitude. At JB Institute of Indian Technology, we believe in fostering a culture of continuous improvement and collaborations. For the past week, we have embarked on a journey of learning and growth guided by some of the finest minds from reputed institutions. So really, I have to thank our Venkatreddy sir has given very good inputs, and really very much thankful to him. And others also. This program has been a wonderful opportunity to come together as a community of educators and learn from one another. The insights gained and the skills acquired here will undoubtedly have a lasting impact on your teaching practices and research endeavors. Let us remember that the true measure of this program's success lies in how we apply what we have learned to your classrooms. This is very important. And research projects and interactions with students and colleagues. Let this week be a stepping stone towards greater achievements in your professional journeys. As we conclude, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the esteemed resource persons, so almost 1 week, who have so generously shared their knowledge and expertise. Your contributions have been invaluable, and we are deeply grateful for your time and effort. To tell all the participants, your active engagement, curiosity, and enthusiasm have been the driving force behind the success of this program. I hope you leave here with renewed energy, fresh ideas, and a stronger commitment to excellence in teaching and research. Thank you once again to everyone who made this program possible, from the organizer to the participants. So finally, I thank all the organizers. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our chief guest, Professor Venkatreddy, sir, to deliver the valedictory address.
Respected Krishna Rao Garu, the management of JB Institute of Technology, and Dr. Krishnamachari Garu, the principal of this college, organizers of the Department of English, and I know the hard work Nilambad and his team had put into, have a show like this for the past 1 week. I think I must congratulate the management, principal, and the English department, and the supporting mechanism that is available there in the college for allowing the department to come up with such an interesting faculty development on achieving teaching excellence, as well as making the teachers become action researchers. It's a combination of both as to how you can improve your skill set to be able to interact with your learners for the purpose for which you have been hired and paid salaries, as well as also to improve your abilities to find material as you teach to research on. On these twin objectives, this faculty development program, FDP, has been, is going on the past week. And there are quite a few colleagues of mine who are in the profession of teaching the teacher, teaching the speaker, spoke a lot on the topic in a befitting manner, starting with the introduction on the first day, where Rajneesh Arora spoke about. Discussed actually the interdisciplinary nature of teaching, because learning a language is not just because there is a teacher, it happens, just because there are learner happen, but the learners and teachers have their own sociology to bring in. Learners and teachers, they have only socio-economic background. Learners and the teachers and the classroom environment has its own pedagogic psychology. It has its own social psychology. And therefore, I would like to, as he has pointed out, that learning is not a straightforward definition that happens. The behavioral change, especially the verbal behavioral change that is to be brought in our learners to face the job market, is not a straightforward one. He highlighted it by saying that you not only need language awareness, you also need socio-cultural awareness, because textbook has its own world. In order to transact that world, it is multidisciplinary approach, which can prove to be profitable for learning of the language as well as to conduct research. So teachers will have an opportunity to also check what kind of socioeconomic background our students come from and how different each other's socioeconomic background has been. And learners also don't learn in a monotonous way. They don't learn in a uniformed way. Each learner perhaps has a different style of learning, and teachers must be aware of that. In case they should also find that as a material to do the research. And Dr. Murli Krishna, on the second day, he spoke and delved into the manner in which we can use language learning material to also improve and develop the critical thinking skills in our learners. By way of using language, we are no doubt developing thinking skills, but we can also use some socially important material to make our learners acquire critically thinking skills as well. And he highlighted that classroom is a fertile ground apart from making the learners learn and communicate in the language. It is also a space for material to check if it's possible to do research in developing critical thinking skills through, at the same time, developing ELT skills. And our colleague from Osmania University, Dr. KNR, he generally spoke about methods, materials, approaches, particularly required of the new generation teachers. He was talking about the 21st century English language teaching skills required of the present teachers. Particularly important is the integration of technology, integration of digital apparatus. The teachers must also know how to make use of internet, how to make use of learning management sites, making use of social media in order to keep abreast of the learning styles of our learners. Because our learners spend most of their free time browsing through many of these sites. Can't we actually use them as sites, as material, particularly to teach? And he stressed that our language teachers should also know that. And followed by that, it was Santosh Mahapatra of BITS Pilani, who has had his research in evaluation and testing, and he also developed and made teachers know about syllabus, textbook, classroom teaching, and providing insights into creating how we can align them to effective assessments. Because so far, any examination is a depressing and tragic incident in the lives of the learners. But he was stressing as to how we can actually make them an enjoyable experience. And that we can fall back upon. As Sureka also said, it is important that we should do this evaluation not at the end of the semester, not do it at the end of the exam, end of the year, annually once or annually twice. It should be a continuous mold so that our students are not stressed out when you actually make them sit for 3 hours and write all the crap that nobody reads. And anyway, they are all passed. And a colleague of mine from our center, Dr. Excuse me. Hello. I think the same person is Diamond again making a lot of. I think you can exit him. All right. Okay. Dr. Soumya, she discussed about language, leadership, emotional, intelligence, and how it can also be developed by way of integrating that into language learning facilities. And Dr. Kartika said research writing essentials and what important is to, how to choose a topic. Mostly, we always go to the teachers asking them for topics. Sir, could you please give a topic? Ma'am, can you give me a topic so that I would do research? Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to work on somebody's topic, it's as good as nursing somebody's child. You must have a problem to look into. You have a problem to spend 3 or 4 years of your active time for which you spend. And when you come out with a degree, come out or publishing a paper, you'll have a lot of satisfaction apart from the satisfaction of finding solutions to the problems that you may encounter in your journey of becoming a teacher. And she also how to conceptualize publication, offering she guidances in research and publications. Dr. Kanti Priya of I think KL University also spoke a lot about ethical consideration. This is one of the important ideas, important areas today in the face of the available AI tools which can actually write everything that you want. But sometimes when I look at the capacity of these AI tools, do other teachers have any future? The kind of work that they are doing, they are writing everything for you. They are writing letters, they are writing papers, they are writing notes, they are preparing your lesson plan, giving you question papers. What is going to happen to teachers in future? And her actually emphasis was on writing research papers as well as writing teachers. If you fall back on Quillbot, if you take the help of AI tools like Gemini, AI tools such as ChatGPT, and how ethical is this? When it's difficult also to know whether something is written by you or. Therefore, in the context of such critical situation, the writer must follow some ethics, follow some morals in writing thesis and making presentations, research presentations and publications. Raja Vishwanath, my colleague from IIT, also he discussed on life skills and work and life balance, how one must maintain. Usually all the teachers take a lot of work into home and they spend there, he makes it a point that you must make a distinction between your life, home front, as well as work front. And he gave interesting tips and in order to keep yourself healthy. There are other things that also go to keep yourself healthy and happy. That is the salary. Our management must be encouraged. All of us request that as much as they expect us discharge our responsibilities, they should also discharge their responsibilities of paying our salaries on the last day of the month or first day of the month. And Dr. Suvarna, while talking about how the multicultural nature of students with different backgrounds coming to the classrooms, and how can we make them inclusive? We have students who are vocal in the classroom, who are students who feel intimidated, who have some certain psychological problems, introverts. How do we make them come up and make the classrooms inclusive? And with all these myriad and varied topics, in order to make you as an excellent teacher, as well as to making you use your own profession as fertile ground for finding areas to do your research. You already have a PhD to also, pick up areas, do research, publish papers, so that the world of ideas will get enriched with your contribution, and it will be an eye-opener for the teachers to learn solutions for the problems. And on the whole, this workshop with Nilambad, who is a very interesting human, and also is a conscientious person, is very studious. He maintains good relations with everyone. That's how I think he would have rallied all these people to work on this topic. I think in a way, this workshop, FDP, conducted an interactive workshop mode, is a grand success, despite all the problems I could see about how many are there right now. About 35 participants is not easy on a working day, and which is on the verge of a holiday, and there are 35 participants who have hooked onto their computers or mobiles, taking part in this valedictory, is a sign of grand success of this FDP. I congratulate JB Institute of Technology, management, principal, and also I would like to congratulate all the participants for having utilized this given opportunity of listening to scholars and teachers who have had experience in this area. And all that said, by them should not be taken as a bad pillow and swallow it. But think about it. If you think some of the suggestions doled out, make a lot of sense for you wherever you are pitched in, and that actually, a semblance to say that this FDP is indeed has succeeded in convincing the participants, in making them think about the ideas thrown around. I want to say finally that Nilambat, your team has put up a good show. I'm sure you have the full support of your management, and thank you very much for roping me in despite some constraints I have here, but still I think we could pull through, and that's all from me, because I've been speaking. I don't want to repeat the things that I've already said as part of my presentation. Over to JB Institute of Technology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your insightful, inspiring words. It was indeed a pleasure hosting you. And now that we have come to the end of this wonderful event, I invite Dr. Neela Panda, Dean IRB and HOD English, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Ani. Thank you so much for the kind words. Honorable Secretary Shri Krishna Ravaru, respected Director Professor Sanjay Sir, Reverend Principal Dr. P.C. Krishnamachari Garu, most respected Chief Guest of today's and the academic veteran Professor Venkat Reddy Garu, Professor F.U. Singh, fellow participants from Pan India, my dearest department colleagues, Dean, HODs of JBIT, and mostly a wonderful afternoon, I should say. I feel blessed to have conducted or coordinated the Academic Development Program, FDP, as many as 10 serious scholars, researchers, paid professors from central universities, NITs, IITs, and IITs join as a resource persons and share their valuable thoughts. I'm thankful to Honorable Secretary for his benevolence, Principal Sir for his guidance, Director Sir for his support, Dr. Salaluddin for the platform, the IT department for IT support, my department colleagues for untiring hard work in making this program a success, and mostly the active participation and active participants, those who make this program a grand success. I thank everyone from the janitor to the director. Thank you all. I must take a special thanks on record to Professor Rajni Saroda, chief guest for the inaugural ceremony, and Dr. Kunda and Soumya Sarma, Dr. V.K. Kartika, Dr. Kranti Oruganti, joining us as an of us to make us 25 teachers. Thank you all. And I thank Professor Reddy. Namaste from myself, JBIT, and thank you.
Lambert, some of the participants are asking for my contact details. I have posted it on the chat, and they can have a look at it. I have given my I have given my contact number and mail address.
Okay, thank you so much. Namaste, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.